Assalamu alaikum. My name is Afshan Khan. I'm part of Sukoonhealing, and I've been in the field of counselling for over 33 years. I'm an Islamic counsellor, marriage counsellor, teenage counsellor, NLP life coach, CBT therapist, parenting coach. These are some of the things I do, and alhamdulillah, I've written 2 books on marriage. Narcissism is what we call a personality disorder. It's where people are there are a few things, but I can't go to all of them, but the main things are, which I think I've spoken about before, is that these people are very selfish people. They are in denial that they have any issues. It's always my way or the highway. They lie quite a lot. Sometimes they have what we call an addiction to something, maybe different things. Sometimes it's they love to flirt with women, so it's about women. They like to watch things they shouldn't be watching, but they're always in denial, and they're very oppressive, and they can be very aggressive as well. And sometimes we're in this relationship, they're married to somebody who's narcissistic, and they don't even know they're being manipulated. So the top things they are very good at is mind manipulation, and I'm sure you've heard things of gaslighting, and trying to make you feel as though you're the person in the wrong when actually you're not. And this is how they trap the codependent. They usually will marry somebody who's a codependent. Again, the codependent, the empath, you can watch my other videos. Who is the empath? The empath is usually the person that they will marry. So these are some of the things, but the thing I want to speak about today is really in the Islamic way that this is viewed, because a lot of people have asked me questions once I made the video. So just like anything else in Islam, it's mental health. Okay, so sadly we sometimes deny the fact that, you know, the mind can also be ill. So the body is ill, we accept it, we go and get help. But when the mind is troubled, we feel that we can't do anything about it, and we shouldn't do anything about it. But alhamdulillah, I have to say the stigma of counselling is alhamdulillah a lot less than it used to be. And I think because people have been more proactive and talking about mental health and realizing depression is an illness, anxiety also is a state of mind that needs to be dealt with. So it's getting better. Still more improvement, but alhamdulillah it's getting better. So narcissism is something that we have to view as the fact that, okay, this person has this and they have to get help. It's nothing to do with us, it's their illness. Some people may not view it as illness, but I'm just saying from my experience, the person has certain issues which causes them to feel this way. Usually it comes from their parenting, but that is another video. A lot of empaths, people who are married to somebody who is narcissistic, they are trapped because the narcissistic person will have a certain quotes that they will know from Islam. The main one is you have to be obedient. If it's the husband, obviously, that you have to be obedient to me. So anything I say or do, you have to be obedient. Now the person, obviously, the wife, feels that this is part of being married, I have to be obedient, but they don't realize that actually they are being oppressed. Or they'll have certain quotes from the Quran that, you know, if you could, you'd have to do sujood to me because I'm your husband. So only quotes that actually fulfill their rights. But we know in Islam it's not just about the man's right, it's also about the woman's right as well. And one case always comes to mind when I was counseling a sister, and she was married to somebody obviously who was oppressing her, and he would say things like this to her, where you have to be obedient to me, but yet he wouldn't go out to earn, he wasn't doing anything, and most times these people, they don't really like to go out to earn. They get their wife to look after the house, the kids, and go out to earn, and then they can have a good life themselves. So she was saying that, and I was saying to her that you do understand in Islam that one of the rights of the man is to earn. And if he's not earning money, then obviously he's not doing what he should be doing. So you also have to question that. She began to realize that obviously he's not fulfilling his duty, he's asking her to fulfill her duty. It doesn't really work like that. It has to go hand in hand. And then one day she said to him that, well, I don't need to be obedient to you because you're not obedient to the Creator. The Creator told you that you have to provide for us, and you're not providing for us. So this is something that, you know, we have to be quite aware of, that they will use this, and then they will say this is what you have to do, but this is not true. You can't take Islam out of context. Both have rights in Islam. If you don't fulfill your rights, then you have obviously an issue that you need to see somebody about. So this is what wanted to say, because I get asked so many times, oh, but he said that, and I have to be obedient to him, and he was saying this to me, and she was saying to, because obviously we have women who are narcissistic, she was saying this to me, but no, you have to think exactly, you know, what does Islam say, and you just can't pick and choose. So be very, very careful when if you're married to somebody who's narcissistic and they come up with these Islamic quotes. And no, get your knowledge on board, go and speak to somebody, because it doesn't work that way. And I hope that really helped, because I've had so many questions about this. And just recently, actually, because I'm speaking about it, and I'm sure other people are as well, and one of the reasons I wrote the second book is because of narcissism, because I saw so many people struggling. And there's a whole chapter in there about narcissism, how to deal with a narcissist, how to speak to a narcissist, and if your children are living in a relationship where one person is narcissistic. So it goes through all the details in there. And people are recognizing it. And recently, they must have read my book. They're quite learned people, and they said that they'd actually take this into consideration once they were giving fatwa in a marriage, because it's something that hasn't been highlighted before. So alhamdulillah. So whether it's a man or a woman, it's the same tendencies. Maybe the man become more aggressive. So remember, it's like a spectrum. So you'll have I don't want to get too technical, but there's the covert narcissist. There's people that can hide it very well. There's the open one. There's one that's very aggressive, can be so aggressive that actually they can actually do you some harm, because there's a lot of domestic violence involved as well. So there are different types, but any type you have to be very, very careful, because actually you're living in a toxic relationship, which is not going to help you and not help your children either. And I know sometimes people stay in marriages because they feel that the children deserve a father or a mother, but you have to understand what extent are you doing that to the mental health of the children. And perhaps I'll do another video about that, because I counsel children and I counsel teenagers, and perhaps you need to hear what they say.